So let's go ahead. I'm
Just
sorry.
take a I said just take a snapshot of the policy, Nathan,
Oh, you
in
take a
case you need
snapshot.
it.
Okay. Okay. So let's create a simple instance, right? Um, in the instance, we're going to just
You're, you're
the
still underneath
size.
oh, I thought you were
The,
still underneath Bahrain, sorry.
the size that we're going to have is t2.micro, right? And we're going to just this, launch this in the US East 1A. We're going to enable this, and I'm going to attach the role. Remember that I'm going to work with Systems Manager, so I'm going to attach the role that I had before, right? And that's it. That's it. I don't need anything else. I'm not going to SSH into the instance or anything. I'm just going to, well, maybe give it a tag name like I did before, like name and SSM managed instance. And then the security group, well, I can select this one. That's okay, right? The web server one, okay? Review and launch, select the key, and then my instance is launched, okay? Perfect. So right now, I have a bunch of instances here that were deleted. I'm gonna filter this out, and I'm gonna say instance state. I'm gonna say running. I don't have anyone right now because it should be in the pending state, but it will show here in no time. So let us wait for that to show, right? And there it is, right? Right now, my instance is fine. Let me go back to Systems Manager, and I'm gonna close some tabs here. Right, right, all these guys, and move to Systems Manager. Look for it here. It should be here, there. And then go back to Fleet Manager, and we'll be able to see the instance here, right? Perfect. So now the instance is there. I'm going to go ahead and resize my instance, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go back here to documents, look for documents. And then I have, like I said, I have documents owned by Amazon, documents owned by me. And by the way, I had this document. I stop and restart an EC2 instance, right? I deploy configure sequentially, and also have session manager run shell. Okay. So by the way, this guy, let me see what the content of this guy, document to whole settings. Okay. That was a long time ago, and I'm not sure what I did with this. Okay, so I'm gonna type resize, right? That's gonna look for the document that has with resize instance, as you can see there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on that, and that will tell me some steps that's gonna happen. And by the way, when you have these documents, behind these documents, there's always a cloud formation. Cloud formation is behind all this, but we don't see it. Okay, so step number one is going to assert the instance type, right? Sometimes, most of the times, this will fail. This step fails, right? But it doesn't matter. What we need is these guys to work: the stop, the wait, and the instance. So we have the stop step that's going to get this going to be populated automatically at runtime. So it's going to get the instance. When I select it, of course, it's going to get the instance ID. It's going to stop the instance. Then it's going to get the instance and instance ID and resize it, right? The instance type that I'm going to provide. I want to provide the one that I want, the desired one. It's going to wait, right? Like 5 seconds. And then is going to go ahead and start the instance again. And this is the desired state running, right? The desired state is stopped, right? So that's what's going to happen when this document is executed, right? So now I'm going to execute automation. I click on that, and then it's going to take me to a different page. So I can do a simple execution on targets. I can have rate control execute safely on multiple targets, just to have more than one, by defining concurrency and error threshold, multi-account and region, manual execution step-by-step, run book mode. So right now, I can have an instance here. I can put it, manually, or I can simply show an interactive instance picker, and then I can select it here, right? I select it. The instance type requires the desired instance type that I want. So what do I want? Let's say that I want to have T3.micro. So that's what I have, right? This is the sleep wait, the desired wait time before starting the instance. No, I don't want more than that. That's fine. This is optional. It's automation assume role. I don't need to have that, right? And right now, my instance is going to go from T2.micro to T3.micro, right? Automatically. So I can do this from the command line if I want. I just copy this guy and pasted it in this. So one thing we're going to do it right now. For now, we're going to do it in the console, right? And we're going to execute it. That's it. That's all we need to resize the instance. So go execute. And now we see that all the steps are here. It's just pending. Let us take a look at our instance real quick. So let us move this outside. Let us minimize these guys. And let's see one next to each other. Let's see what's going to happen here. So my instance is here. You see how it failed? So it happens, right? Let me go ahead and find my instances here. So right now is in the, let me see here. So right now my instance is stopped. You see, it stopped the instance. So that's a step, right? And let us wait for that to finish, and then it's going to resize the instance. So let me click on this guy, and it's still T2.micro is stopped. So all of these guys already succeeded. So if I refresh this, I see that my new instance type is T3.micro, and my instance is back to running. As you can see here, that was fast, right? So here, even though it says in progress, right? It's already running. If you take a look at the instance, it's already running, right? How about that, guys? Was that good? I changed that's all automatic, right? So it's running.
Can you
running.
put this behind like an auto scaling or something, or to where it has certain parameters before it makes it a larger or size or something?
And auto scaling?
I'm just thinking, is there anything we can do for that? Like instead of just like executing it to a T3 micro for no reason, like resize into. Is there like a? I don't know if we need
I
like
don't
more compute power or something.
Yeah, but I don't think you can do that with auto scaling, because auto scaling is it has a launcher configuration that already contains the size that every single instance is going to have. Right? There's nothing you can do about it because it uses the launch configuration. Right?
Yeah.
You can resize one, but remember that every single instance that is created with an auto scaling group is disposable, because they're all the same. They're all the same. For example, that particular instance you resized doesn't work anymore. It just terminates it. And there was no point in resizing the instance because it terminated it, right? Auto scaling doesn't care if it has a particular size or not. It was just deleted, right? It deletes it. If it doesn't, if it is not good anymore, right? It deletes it and creates a new one. So there might be a way, which I don't know now, and your question makes sense, but there must be a way to make this more dynamic, like the ones that are already created by another scaling group, right? But remember that it all comes from the launch configuration, and there's no way to edit the launch configuration so far,
Yeah.
right? we can copy, like you just discovered, but we cannot edit it. There's no choice for that, right?
Professor, can you repeat what you said about autoscaling? So if we are autoscaling an instance, like for instances, does it change the capacity of the instance depending on the need, or does it terminate the unused one?
Okay, if an instance is not good anymore, like is declared unhealthy by the last load balancer, autoscaling terminates it and creates a new one. It creates a new one. So autoscaling sees the instances as disposable resources. They are the same, they're identical, because remember, all of them are taken or created based on the launch configuration. So they're exact, they're identical. They have a different ID, they have a different host, right? But they are the same instance. They have the same skeleton, right? It's like humans. We're all the same, but 2 legs, 2 arms, 1 head, you know, but different personalities, right? So it sees these instances as disposable resources. Not good anymore, I terminate you and create a new one. So if we go ahead and change the size of one of the instances created by an autoscaling group, it makes no sense at the end of the day, because if that instance is not good anymore, it deletes it, right? It just deletes it. So we incremented the size of the instance for nothing, right? So I don't know a way, to be honest, to create this dynamically, like resize this dynamically, because you cannot, so far, you cannot edit a launch configuration, right? And everything comes from the launch configuration in the autoscaling group. But not everybody uses autoscaling, okay? Autoscaling is an option, but not everybody uses autoscaling. So if you don't use autoscaling, what I just did makes sense, because the instances would not be terminated unless you terminate them, right? They might be declared unhealthy, right? Because they're not working, but you fix them. You troubleshoot and fix them, right? Yep. Well, this is all about this video, how to create that, guys. I'm gonna take questions or more questions.